My dear 5th grade children, how are you? Are you fine? Are you stay at home? Okay, fine. Okay, now listen here, ma. Let us start to study. Okay, ma. Now listen here, ma. In the last class, we learned the motions of the earth, isn't it? We study something about the earth. Okay. Before that, you need to understand what is geography, isn't it? Now, the social science means it is divided into three parts, that is geography, history and civics. First, our topic, the first lesson is under geography first lesson, the motions of the earth, isn't it? So, first of all, we need to study what is geography, isn't it? Do you know what is geography? Okay, fine. Now listen here. Geography is the study of places and the relationship between people and their environments. Okay, ma? What is geography? Geography means what? Geography is the study of places and the relationship between people and their environment. Environment means relationship between people and our surroundings. Okay? Do you understand, ma? Okay, fine. Now listen here. Geographers explores both the physical property of Earth's surface and the human society spread across it. Okay? Geographers explore what? The physical properties of Earth's surface and the human society spread across it. Okay, this geography seeks to understand where things are found, why they are there, and how they develop and change over time. So, to conclude, geography means it's the study of places and the relationship between people and their environments. Okay, ma? So, now we study the first lesson, that is geography first lesson, that is motions of the earth. Okay, ma? So, the previous class, that is last class, we learned that motions of the earth, isn't it, ma? Am I correct? Okay, fine. Now see here, what is the meaning of the motions of the earth? Already know, isn't it? Very good. Motions means movement of the earth, isn't it, ma? Okay. Do you know something about our earth? Okay, that is also last class we learned that earth is the third closest planet to the sun, isn't it? It is the third closest planet to the sun. Earth is the third closest planet to the sun. Okay, ma? That is also last class we learned it, isn't it, ma? Okay. Can you remember? Okay. Now listen, ma. Earth is the only planet known to have lots of liquid water. Okay. This liquid is, that is, water is important. Water and air is important for our life. Okay. The earth is the only planet where life has been found. Isn't it? Any doubt? No. The earth is the only planet where life has been found. So, geographers is the study of places near and the relationship between people and their environments. That is also been studied that, isn't it? Okay. Now listen here. This last class we learned that earth axis, isn't it? Can you remember it? What is axis? Anyone say? Yeah. Axis is an imaginary line, isn't it? Axis is an imaginary line, isn't it? This axis of the globe is tilted It is not vertical. The axis of the earth is also tilted in the same way. What is the meaning of it tilted? Yes, tilted means slanting in same way. Okay, ma? Yes. Then, what is two types of movement we can study in the last class, isn't it? The earth moves in two different ways. The first one is what? That is, it spins around itself about its axis. Okay, it spins around itself about its axis. That one type of movement. Second movement, this earth moves around the sun in a fixed path. Okay, ma? Can you remember? Yes, very good. Now listen here. So, earth moves in two different ways. That is very, very important one. Did you clear it? Okay, now listen here. It spins around itself about its axis. What is axis? Axis is an imaginary line. Okay? Okay, now listen here. This earth axis is an imaginary line that passes through the north and south poles. That is also very important. We already learned it. In the previous chapter only I recall now. Okay, listen here. The earth's axis is an imaginary line that passes through the north and south poles. Isn't it? Okay. The movement of the earth about its axis is known as rotation. Can you remember it? Okay. What is rotation? The movement of the earth about its axis is known as rotation. Okay. Okay. This rotation of the earth causes what? It causes, this rotation of the earth causes day and night. Isn't it, ma? That's also last class we learned it. Then revolution. That is the second type of movement of earth. This is, it moves around the sun in fixed path. Isn't it? What is revolution, ma? What is revolution? Yes, the movement of the earth around the sun in a fixed path. That fixed path is called what? Orbit. Isn't it? That it is called revolution. Okay. So, here don't confuse it. This earth moves in two different ways. The first one is it spins around itself about its axis. First. Second, it moves around the sun in fixed path. That is a revolution. Okay, clear it? Okay, fine. Now listen here. The orbit of the earth is not a circular. It is elliptical in shape. Okay, ma? Okay. The earth complete one revolution is 365 days or 1 year and 6 hours. So, the earth complete one revolution, it takes time 365 days and 6 hours. At the same time, the earth takes around itself about its axis. That is a rotation. It takes time 1 day. Okay, ma? Okay. Okay, now listen here. So, this is last class. That is only I recall. Now, today we are going to study that new heading, that is how the seasons happen. How the seasons happen. The change in seasons from summer to winter and then back from winter to summer happens because of two reasons. These seasons happen for two reasons. What are the two reasons? That is the tilt of the earth's axis. Two reasons, no? The first reason is the tilt of the Earth's axis. That is the first reason. Second one, the orbit of the Earth around the Sun. Can you understand, ma? Okay. So, rotation causes the movement of the Earth. That is a rotation. The rotation causes day and night. You got it, that point? Okay. Then second one, you simply understand, ma. The revolution causes seasons. Okay. Rotation causes day and night. This revolution causes seasons. How? That's only now we are going to study. Okay, ma? Listen carefully. Now listen here. The change in seasons from summer, winter. What are the four seasons? Summer, winter, autumn and spring, isn't it? So, the change in seasons from summer to winter and from winter to summer. How it happens? That's two reasons. The first one is what, ma? The tilt of the Earth's axis. Second one is the orbit of the Earth around the Sun. Okay? Okay, now listen here. How is it? We can see now. That is a the revolution of the Earth. Revolution? Do you know what is revolution? Anyone say? What is revolution? The Earth, movement of the Earth, the second point, that is a revolution. It moves around the Sun in a fixed path. It moves around the Sun in a, this Earth moves around the Sun in a fixed path. Okay, that is a revolution. Okay, so this revolution of the Earth and its tilted axis. Tilted means slanting axis. It revolution means that the axis is slanting, isn't it? Always this Earth is slanting position only. So this axis, slanting axis, causes four main seasons. That is summer, winter, autumn and spring. Okay. When the Earth axis, now all of you listen here, ma, very carefully listen. When the Earth axis okay, points towards the Sun. Okay, ma? The Earth axis points towards the Sun while orbiting in its elliptical path. It is summer. When it is summer, this Earth axis points towards the Sun while orbiting in its elliptical path. It is summer for the hemisphere. What is hemisphere? Any doubt for you? What is hemisphere? Okay, I am telling now. What is equator? Do you know? Yes, I am telling. This, before that, first of all, once again I recall that. What is axis? Axis is an imaginary line, isn't it? Just like equator is also, it is also halfway at the middle of the globe, one equator line, halfway between the two poles. Two poles in this globe. First you see that globe. Globe is the representation of the Earth. Globe is the scale model of the Earth, isn't it? So, this globe has just like this Earth has two poles, that is North Pole and South Pole, isn't it? The halfway between that, the globe, you see that? Can you see the globe? At the halfway between the two poles is another imaginary line that is circling this Earth. It is called equator. It is also imaginary line. At the center on imaginary line, that is called equator. This equator divides the Earth into two equal halves. That is northern hemisphere. North pole, that is a northern hemisphere, and south pole, it is a southern hemisphere. Can you understand, ma'am? Can you see that? Okay, now listen here. Once again I repeat it. What is equator means? That is also an imaginary line. It is lies halfway between the two poles. Another one imaginary line that's circling the earth. It is called equator. It is in the center. It divides this earth into two halves, equal halves. That is northern side, northern poles. That is northern hemisphere, and southern hemisphere lies near the south pole. Okay, hemisphere means what, ma? Hemisphere. Say the spelling. Hemi. H-E-M-I. Hemi. Hemi means half. Half. Sphere means a round shape. Okay, ma? So, can you understand? When the North Pole is, now listen here, how this season happened. One time I repeated. The revolution of the earth and its tilted axis causes four main seasons, that is summer, winter, autumn and spring. When the earth axis points towards the sun while orbiting in its elliptical path, it is summer for that hemisphere. So, summer means earth axis points towards the sun. That is the point. Okay. Okay. What is summer? Summer season means, how it happens? Yeah. The earth's axis points towards the sun. Can you understand? Any doubt for you? How is it summer? That is, the earth axis point towards the sun. Okay, while orbiting in its elliptical path, it is summer for that hemisphere. Okay, can you understand? When the earth axis points away to the sun, isn't it? When the earth axis points away from the sun, that is a winter can be expected. So, this earth axis points towards the sun. That is a summer season, summer for that hemisphere. When the earth axis points away from the sun, that is we expected winter season. Can you understand, ma? Okay, I will give more explanation. Listen here, very carefully listen here. Okay, okay, fine. Now listen here, ma. When the North Pole is inclined towards the sun, when the North Pole, can you see that? Yes, the North Pole is inclined towards the sun. That is, the northern hemisphere receives more direct sunlight and has longer days and shorter nights. Okay? Okay, because it gets more direct sunlight, so it has longer direct sunlight, so it has longer days and shorter nights. Thus, the northern hemisphere experiences summer. At the same time, the southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere summer means at the same time, southern hemisphere has winter. Can you understand, ma? Once again I repeat it. When the North Pole is inclined towards the sun, at the same time, if the North Pole is towards the sun, at the same time, the South Pole is inclined away from the sun. Can you understand, ma? Don't confuse. Okay, now listen here. Okay, when the North Pole is inclined towards the sun, this North Pole inclined towards the sun, at the same time, the South Pole is inclined away from the sun. So, the northern hemisphere receives more direct sunlight and it has longer days and it has shorter nights. Thus, the northern hemisphere experiences summer. On the other hand, the southern hemisphere has winter. Can you understand? Okay. Then next, now listen here. This South Pole is angled towards the sun and the North Pole is angled away from it. Thus, the southern hemisphere receives more direct sunlight. That is changes, the position changes, not all the times, not in the same seasons or not, isn't it? It changes the period time, this seasons also changes. So first, North Pole summer season means southern poles, that is a winter season. Then North Pole's winter season means southern poles summer season. And also we also have spring and autumn seasons also we have, isn't it? How does it happen? That's we are need to study then. Okay, now listen here. The south pole is angled towards the sun and the north pole is angled away from it. Thus the southern hemisphere receives more direct sunlight. Now southern hemisphere only get more direct sunlight and has longer days. This southern hemisphere receives more direct sunlight and has longer days and shorter nights. This means the southern hemisphere experiences summer, whereas the northern hemisphere experiences winter. Okay, can you understand? Okay. It is important to note that seasons north of the equator are the opposite to the season south of the equator. That is, when it is winter in Europe and the United States, it is summer in Argentina and Australia. What is more? It is important to note that what's important? That is, seasons north of the equator are the opposite to the season south of the equator. So that's already we learned it, isn't it? The northern hemisphere summer season means at the same time the southern hemisphere winter season. Okay, so that is only, it is important to you find it. That is, this point only you note it. Okay, that is, seasons north of the equator are the opposite to the seasons south of the equator. That is the main point, isn't it? That is, when it is winter in Europe and the United States in summer in Argentina and Australia. Okay, ma? So, next, this halfway between this northern hemisphere summer season means southern hemisphere winter. Okay, that is one. Next, at these times this earth is tilted neither directly towards nor directly away from the sun. Sometimes this earth is tilted neither directly towards the or not directly away from the sun. At these times, both the hemisphere receives almost equal amounts of sunlight with equal day and night. These positions mark the seasons of spring and autumn. Can you understand, ma? First, what we studied that is first point is this north pole is inclined towards the sun. At the same time, northern hemisphere has summer season. At the same time, the southern hemisphere is winter. That's first point. Then again changes, again back. How to that? The south pole is angled towards the sun. At the same time, southern pole is what happened? Winter, summer season. At the same time, northern pole is winter, isn't it? That is very, very important points there. North of the equator are opposite to the season south of the equator. That is, you understand. Okay, then third position, what happened means, sometimes the earth is tilted. Earth is tilted. Earth is tilted means earth axis slanting at that time, neither directly towards nor directly away from the sun. Not directly towards the sun or not directly away from the sun. That is a equal position. At these times, both the hemispheres receives almost equal amounts of sunlight with the equal day and night. These positions mark the seasons of spring and autumn. Okay, ma? Okay. Okay, fine, ma. I will give some questions. That question also you write neatly with your booklet. Okay, ma? Okay. I once again recall it. Rotation and revolution are two different movements of the earth, isn't it? This rotation and revolution are two different movements of the earth. That's also we studied that. The movement of the earth about its axis is known as rotation. Rotation of the earth causes day and night, isn't it? Okay. Then the movement of the earth on an elliptical orbit around the sun is known as revolution. That's we already named it, isn't it? Then four main seasons on the earth are, what are the four main seasons? That is summer, winter, spring and autumn. Then important point, the seasons to the north of the equator and opposite to the seasons to the south of the equator. Okay, then I will give some of the question. That answers also you will please neatly copy it. Okay, ma? That is, the first question is, what is the axis of the earth? The axis of the earth is an imaginary line passing through the two poles. It is slightly tilted. Okay, ma? Can you understand? Okay. First question is, what is the axis of the earth? The answer is, the axis of the earth is an imaginary line passing through the two poles. It is slightly tilted. Then second question, how long does the earth take for one rotation? That is, the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. The earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. Third one, what is the rotation of the earth cause? The rotation of the earth causes day and night. Third question, what more? What is the rotation of the earth cause? The rotation of the earth causes day and night. Fourth one is, what is earth revolution? What is the earth's revolution? The movement of the earth on an elliptical orbit around the sun is known as revolution. What is earth's revolution? The movement of the earth on an elliptical orbit around the sun is known as revolution. Okay, this four questions, very easy questions only. Try to study. Okay, ma? Nicely write, neatly write and study well. Okay, ma? Okay, bye. Next class we will continue. Okay.